Hey friends, welcome back. As you know, managing your finances is one of the most important skills that you can develop. Whether you're a student, young professional, or an entrepreneur, good money habits can help you achieve your goals and help you create a life that you want. But unfortunately, many of us make these common money mistakes which can have serious consequences. They can lead to debt, stresses, missed opportunities, and even mental health issues. That's why in this video, I want to share with you 8 common money mistakes to avoid. These are mistakes that I have struggled with in the past, and I too often see many people fall victim for them. If you want to take control of your finances, avoid common mistakes, build a secure future, stick around and let's get started. One of the biggest mistakes people make with their money is carrying too much bad debt. This type of debt can trap you in a cycle of payments, limit your financial flexibility, and even damage your credit score. Let's talk about why it's important to avoid bad debt and how you can reduce it. When you carry bad debt, you're essentially borrowing from your future income to pay for your current consumption. It's like trading in your tomorrow for today. This can be especially dangerous if you're using high interest credit card debt to pay for non-essential purchases. But what is bad debt? Bad debt refers to the type of debt that you take to buy items that depreciate in value over time or have no ways of generating any income for you. Examples of bad debt include credit card loan, taking personal loans for vacations, or even purchasing vehicles that lose value very quickly. Too much bad debt can have a lot of serious consequences for you. First of all, there's very less money in your pocket every month because a lot of it has already been accounted for. Secondly, it limits your financial flexibility. If new expenses or things come up, you already have your money committed for. Thirdly, if you do not keep up with your payments, it can have a very adverse impact on your credit score, limiting your ability to borrow money in the future. Here are some tips to reducing the bad debt. Create a budget. Track your income and expenses and see where all of your money is going. Make a list of all of your debts and start off by paying the one with the highest interest rate first while making minimum payments on the others. Try to avoid taking on any new debt while you're making payments for your existing debts. Use cash or debit card for making purchases and only use credit card for emergencies. Reducing your bad debt is one of the most important steps you can take towards financial freedom and stability. It may take time and discipline, but the benefits are definitely worth it. By paying off your debts, you will have money to save, invest, or use for things that are truly important to you. Another mistake that people often make with money is not having an emergency fund. Life is full of unexpected events, and having a safety net to fall back on can make all the difference. Let's talk about why it's important to have an emergency fund and how you can get started building one. An emergency fund is a savings account that you set aside specifically for unexpected expenses. It's meant to cover things such as job loss, medical bills, car repairs, or home repairs that can't really wait. It is not meant to be used for discretionary, non-essential purchases. Having an emergency fund is important because it gives you a sense of security and peace of mind in case emergencies arise. If a financial emergency arises, you will not have to worry about how you're going to pay for it. You can focus on dealing with the emergency itself without having to stress about the financial hardships on top of it. Here are 2 tips for building your emergency fund. You do not have to start big. You can start off with $500 to $1,000, but slowly build up to a fund which is of the size of 3 to 6 months of living expenses for your essential items. To maximize the returns on your savings, consider using a high yield savings account. These accounts typically offer an interest rate which is higher than your conventional checking account or conventional savings accounts. Having an emergency fund isn't just about the money. It is also about the peace of mind which comes with you knowing that you're ready to handle any financial hardships which may be thrown your way. Building an emergency fund is an important step towards financial independence and security. Another financial mistake that a lot of people often make is not having enough insurance, especially health or life insurance. Let's talk about why it's important to have this insurance and how you can go about finding an affordable option. The purpose of health insurance is to pay for medical expenses such as doctor's visit, hospitalization, or for your prescription drugs. Life insurance, on the other hand, is designed to protect your loved ones in case you pass away. Not having insurance can have devastating financial consequences for you and your family in case you have an unexpected medical emergency or if you pass away. Without insurance, you or your loved ones can be burdened with the expenses of huge medical bills or funeral costs. If COVID has taught us anything, it is that having good health insurance and life insurance is essential for financial security. Here are some tips for finding affordable insurances. Start by researching available insurance options in your area. These could be government issued, private issued, or even employer provided options. When evaluating insurance plans, it is really important to compare the cost and the coverage. You want to find plans which provide you adequate coverage without breaking the bank. Make sure you understand deductibles and co-payments. These are out-of-pocket expenses that you will be making in addition to the insurance premiums. While it can be tempting to skip out on insurance to save money, it's important to note that insurance provides you and your family members a safety net. By being prepared with adequate insurance coverage, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you and your loved ones are protected in case of unexpected events. One of the most important financial habits to develop is to create and stick to a budget. Let's talk about what a budget is, why it's important, and how you can go about creating one. A budget is a plan for managing your income and expenses. It helps you keep track of your money to make sure you live within your means. Having a budget is important because it helps you prioritize your expenses. You can see where your money is going and make adjustments to spend on what is most important to you. Start by tracking your income and expenses, where your money is coming in from, and where your money is going. Once you have a clear picture of your income and expenses, you can look for ways to cut back on your spending. You can try to reduce your spending on non-essential items or find savings on groceries and utilities. As your income or expenses change, make adjustments to your budget. This will help you stay on track and make sure you're living within your means. Sticking to a budget can have a number of benefits, including less financial stress, better savings and investments, and a better understanding of your overall financial situation. By creating and sticking to a budget, you too can take control of your financial situation and work towards your financial goals. Spending too much can be a major obstacle to achieving financial stability. Let's talk about what overspending is, the risks it poses, and how to avoid it. Overspending is spending more money than you earn. It can happen when you use credit cards excessively or take on debt to pay for expenses that are beyond your means. Overspending can lead to a number of negative consequences such as debt, limited savings, and difficulty reaching financial goals. It can also lead to stress and anxiety, which can affect your overall well-being. So here are some tips to avoid overspending. One of the best ways to avoid overspending is by creating a budget. Keep track of your income and expenses and set limits for how much you want to spend in each category. Setting spending limits can help avoid impulse purchases and keep your spending in check. For example, you may choose to limit your spending on dining or entertainment. Impulse purchases can be a major contributor to overspending. Before making a purchase, ask yourself if you really need this item or you just want it. A technique that I use is to give myself a week to think about the item that I'm trying to impulse buy. If I still need it badly after a week, then I go ahead and buy it. But in most cases, I realized that it was an impulse purchase and I didn't really need the item. Living within your means is essential for financial stability. By avoiding overspending and sticking to your budget, you can ensure that you're not taking on too much debt or spending more than you earn. This can help you achieve your financial goals and reduce financial stresses in the long run. For a large number of people, taxes is the biggest single expense that they make in a year. Paying too much in taxes can have a significant impact on your personal finances. Let's talk about how taxes can affect you, common mistakes that result in overpaying, and how to reduce your tax liability. Taxes are a necessary part of your life, but they can have a significant impact on your personal finances. Paying too much in taxes can reduce your disposable income, affect your ability to save, and also hinder you achieving your financial goals. There are several common mistakes that can lead to overpaying taxes, including not understanding the tax laws, failing to claim deductions, and not keeping accurate track of your expenses. It is important to be aware of these common mistakes and take steps to avoid them. Here are some tips for reducing your tax liability. Reviewing your tax returns carefully can help you identify any errors or omissions that may result in overpayment. Make sure you're claiming all applicable deductions and taking advantage of any tax credits. Deductions can reduce your taxable income, thereby lowering your tax liability. Be sure to claim all applicable deductions, such as those for charitable donations and business expenses. A tax professional can help you navigate complex tax laws and ensure that you're paying the correct amount for taxes. They can also help you identify potential deductions and credits that you may have overlooked. It's important to pay the correct amount of taxes, no less and no more. Paying too much can hurt your financial well-being, while paying too little can result in penalty and interest charges. By understanding the tax laws, taking advantage of the deductions, and reviewing your tax return carefully, you can ensure you are paying the right amount. Another common mistake I've seen a lot of people make is waiting too long to invest. Investing is a way to put your money to work and grow your wealth over time. Investing allows you to earn a return on your money by buying assets that have the potential to increase in value. The biggest force in investing is compound interest. This is where your money keeps growing year over year. So if you get 10% interest the first year and your $100 becomes $110, a 10% interest the next year will make your $110 into $121. And the longer the time you have, the more your investment will compound. The longer you wait to invest, the less compounding effect you will end up having. There's also another factor at play over here: inflation. Inflation is constantly eroding the power of what your money can go buy. So you need to at least invest to keep up with or beat the inflation to have your money retain its value. Because through inflation, the same amount of money can buy fewer things. I am not an investment professional, and this is not an investment advice. You should do your own research before you start investing. A general rule of thumb that I like to suggest people who are starting to invest is keep 50% of your salary for your basic needs, 30% for your wants and enjoying and non-essential purchases, and 20% of your money should be put towards investments and savings. As your salary grows, as you get more increments, just flip it. For every increment that you get, try to put 50% of that money towards your investments, 30% still for your wants and non-essential purchases, and 20% would be the increase to your normal living expenses. So if you can keep your needs in check, you can continue to grow your wants along with your income, but you can over time increase the amount of investments you make, and the more time you give your money to compound, the more valuable it's going to be. A lot of people wait for a very long time before they start investing. The sooner you start, the more you'll give it a chance to compound. Investing is not without its risk. Please do your due diligence before investing your money. The safest investments that I have found is investing in index funds, which have very low fees, because that way you're investing in the index or the economy of the top 50 or top 500 companies, as it depends on your country, going up over time. In US, there's the S&P 500 index funds that you can go invest in. In India, you can go invest in Nifty 50 or other similar index funds. That's an easy way to get started, so you don't have to overthink exactly where you want to invest your money in. But again, this is not a financial advice, just my personal opinion. Perhaps the biggest mistake that you can make about money is not caring about money. Money impacts our lives in so many different ways, and every single person has to, in some shape or form, end up dealing with it. If you do not make financial literacy a high priority for yourself, you are putting yourself and your loved ones at a severe disadvantage. It makes it very easy for you to fall into any of these common mistakes that we have talked about, which can lead to a lot of stresses and financial hardships. The good news is there are many ways to improve your financial literacy. There are lots of books, articles, and courses available using which you too can increase the level of your financial literacy and take control of your own finances. Now that we know what the 8 common money mistakes are and how to avoid them, if you'd like to continue your learning and learn about how to reprogram your mind to attract wealth, please check out the video right here. And until next time, goodbye.